Welcome to episode number 78 of the BEBC
BS
Podcast. Morning, fellas.
Morning. Morning.
How's everybody?
Deja vu.
Deja vu. All right, I will confess because we are open kimono guys.
Kimono.
Seriously?
In fact, if you would have Facebooked with our buddy or FaceTime with our buddy Alan yesterday,
yeah,
it was open kimono.
Yeah.
There's a story there that's just funny as I'll get out.
I don't think we need to go any deeper.
No, but we're open kimono because we started our podcast, and 2 minutes in, I looked up and I was like, my mic light wasn't on, and I forgot to plug it in, so we started over. So this is deja vu. And so we're going to do the same thing we did that y'all missed. Hey, Texas OU weekend.
It's a phantasmical weekend down at the State Fair.
Hook 'em.
Yeah.
You live in Texas.
Woo pig.
Root for Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go play Georgia again.
No, let's don't. Let's don't.
Y'all, the talks we have before and after podcast, and Nolan, for those of you who saw Nolan get up and leave last week because he was so excited to get home and watch his Hogs, and then he was so excited to come back here after about 10 minutes into that game. Because, hey, sometimes you run into a buzzsaw.
Hey, man, let me tell you. You got Georgia, Alabama, and the rest of college
It's pretty
football
crazy.
down there.
But speaking of the rest of the college football,
Texas OU?
Texas OU, and what a great...
What a storied rivalry. How many years is this?
100 and...
Somebody looked that up. We want to get that right.
I think it's 117.
But if you've never been to a Texas OU game at the State Fair, put it on your bucket list. It costs you a little bit of money to get the tickets, but it's well worth it because nowhere else can you go. I say nowhere else. There's not that many teams that play a neutral site every year, and where half the stadium's crimson and whatever they're white, and the rest is burnt orange.
Crimson and Cream.
Crimson and Cream. I started to say Crimson and Clover. That song stuck in my head.
That sounds like a Bluebell ice cream.
Crimson and Cream.
It does.
But what an environment. It's so cool.
116 total meetings.
Have you been?
Oh, yeah.
I've been. Have you been? So everybody here's been.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And it's just...
Great time.
It's so much fun. The fair, the bands, the
Walk
fans.
in with a big old turkey leg.
and how do they really... I guess they sell them specifically. Half the stadium's
Yes.
burnt orange and half the stadium's crimson.
And they don't do it... They don't do it sideline.
It's north, south.
Half of north and south, which makes it even cooler.
So the split is right there on the 50.
Yeah.
Which is cool on TV.
It is. It really looks neat. So, hook 'em today. Hook 'em needs a win.
I actually think Texas is probably going to win this game.
So, root the horns on here at 11
Then
o'clock.
I thought Arkansas could play Georgia last week.
Yeah, you need to be quiet.
You're right.
They didn't get beat that bad. How many points did Arkansas score?
So, let's see how many points Texas Tech would score against them.
Oh, Georgia's
I have no
good.
expectation of points on
I
that.
told Nolan last week, I said,
Those are men among boys.
that is Kirby Smart, he can't beat Bama.
Yeah.
I think he can this year, yeah.
But he's been quietly building depth down there, and the recruits are coming. So anyhow, hey, that probably made a big noise when I did that. Shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, way to go, Mark.
Want to clarify something because we said we would if we had different information. The end of the podcast last week, we talked about band volunteers, discussion.
Fancy and Lay.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you were.
Hey.
And we told somebody, hey, if somebody from the band wants to reach out to us and give us different information, feel free to do so. And by golly, they did. So,
and we're glad they did.
hey.
I mean,
What we were told last week was that you had to have a child in the band to participate as a volunteer. Okay? The short of it is that is not 100% true. Okay?
first come, first serve.
Well, it's
band parents
first. They have a sign-up sheet for both volunteers and pit bulls. And start Sunday night, Wednesday night at midnight. If there are any slots left available, then what they call veterans, or somebody who doesn't have a child in the band, can sign up and participate. Okay, that is how it is. That's how it's been since 2019. Okay, So they're not excluding anybody. Their philosophy, and this was an ABBA, band board decision, because they handle all the volunteers, in 2019 was... So that's been the band policy, and that's the policy going forward. So we've cleared that up. Everybody knows that is how things are now.
Now, if the parents would stay during the entire game, that would be even better.
There was a game last night.
Bonus. Yeah.
Let's get to that.
Wow.
Yeah, because they had a full band competition show, and we had a full football show, too.
We did have a show last night.
Complete. That was the cleanest game I think I've seen in a long time.
A long time.
And they needed it.
It was a thing of beauty.
Because after last week's game, if everybody remembers that went to the game or watched it, however you saw it or heard about it, Mr. Hawkins had another fumbling issue, had 2 fumbles, and he got yanked. Yep. And Lathan Van Alsdahl came in, ran the offense the rest of the game. And so the question this week was,
who's going to start?
Let's be a little gentler. He was relieved.
He was relieved. Yeah, he was tired. He needed a break.
That's okay. Coaches have got to make tough decisions like that sometimes. And
they do.
Hawkins is awesome, but he's been having a little trouble.
If you can't hold on to the ball, you're hurting your team.
That's a big problem.
And so they did. They yanked him and on to the next week and see what happens. And there was just a lot of, 1, who's going to start? 2, what's it going to look like? 3, is there a short leash if things don't go well?
Yeah.
And
we didn't have to worry about the short leash.
No,
because he had his stuff together.
Little Elm came into the game. They were one of those last year's kind of what I call them bottom feeders in the district that had played very well up until last week, and they gave up 60 some odd points to Denton Braswell. It was like 62-41. And I watched that game this week. It was out on the internet, and then I went back and looked at stats. And to me, the one thing that stood out was their defense was suspect at best.
Yeah.
They gave up a ton of rushing yards to Braswell. Allen's strength, I think it's fair to say, is their rushing attack.
Agreed.
Between Mr. Jenkins, Kavion Sibley, and also, I just won't totally blank it.
Number 6.
Yes. And I hate it when I forget people's names.
Brain fart.
Oh, somebody help me here. He ran for 110 yards last night. Does that help at all? Devin Turner. Oh, sorry, Devin.
You notice how we weren't bailing you.
Yeah, you two were just standing there like, whatever.
Well, I'm writing stuff.
So,
it was impressive.
It was, what's going to happen? How's it going to turn out?
Right.
And Allen gets the ball first. I tell you what, let's just back up and start with stats, and we can get into some specifics. But at the end of the day, I think, David, your comment was that's about as crisp a game or a clean a game as Allen has played. It's certainly for this year.
Right.
No turnovers, 11 for 11 passing.
Which to me, that's a stat right there. Probably is most amazing. I mean, they didn't pass that much,
right?
But when they did, and it wasn't. Not all of them were dink passes. There were some hauls, and there were some tremendous catches.
Yeah, I mean, they averaged almost 17 yards a pass, so it wasn't.
It
wasn't dinking.
It's not trivial.
For the time that Hawkins played last night, I've never seen him sharper.
Yeah,
it was.
Really
it's good to see.
When
he had to tuck the ball and ran,
he tucked it.
He had it.
It was really, really good.
Up.
You know that Denton Geyer is sitting out there next week. You don't want to look ahead, but you've got a lot. You have things you can work on from the previous 5 weeks. I mean, it's obvious to everybody, and I think one of the questions you have as a fan is and you have this. This is nothing that parents don't have.
Right.
When you discipline your children, you say, okay, next time that situation comes up, how are they going to handle it? Hopefully not the same way they did where they had to be disciplined.
Right.
And so the question was, okay, Hawkins got benched, but now he's back starting. He's coming back as a starter. How's he going to respond?
And he responded flawlessly.
Couldn't have been any better.
Yeah.
I don't know what we could have asked for last night that we didn't get.
Right. Because coming into the season, the quarterback that we saw tonight was kind of the expectation, and what we'd hoped for, and now we're seeing it. Now, the other thing that I was really happy with is Lathan Ostall.
Yeah.
Yes.
He came in a little shaky on the first series, but after that, he performed flawlessly too, for the most part.
I love
that
rollout where
yeah,
he's going to throw, and that guy went 40 feet in the air.
Insert that play. We've got that play. Insert that play. It just, what a way to fake out a rusher.
Oh, my gosh.
Make you think he's throwing, he jumps, and boom,
he got up there too, man. It was a while before he got back down on the ground.
So that was impressive.
You know, Allen rushes for 490 yards. If you're rushing for 490 yards,
You're pretty much controlling anything.
And how many yards did Jenkins have? Number 2.
Jenkins had 213.
13.
That's awesome. 213.
Which was funny because when he came by the tailgate, I grabbed him and I said, "All right, dude." I said, "You're going to go for 240 and 4 touchdowns tonight, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." And so
4 touchdowns
he got the 4 touchdowns, and then we saw him on the field after the game, and I said, "All right, 213, man, you were a little short." He just started laughing.
So, you know, the thing about that, you could tell we weren't throwing the ball downfield for the most part, so they put everybody in the box.
They did.
I mean, everybody, the safeties, everything else, and they still couldn't stop that run.
The backup
still getting
safeties,
past
the
them.
linebacker coaches, the cheerleaders, everybody.
Only occasionally they were running a cover 1, and it just...
Their defense is not good.
No.
And that's their problem because their offense, they've got,
Their
quarterback.
running back is a hoss. Quarterback is a hoss.
Well, they play that up-tempo, which we used to play back in 12, 13, 14, whatever. And,
I got a bone to pick about that. That's an awful lot of start-stop on the video and quick and stuff. So y'all got to slow it down for me.
We don't have time to talk about a play. It's just, yeah, John Mateer, quarterback, and he does have a cannon of an arm.
He does.
And again, they go so quick. The defense has, and I think a lot of that is why they score so much. Is the defense really doesn't have time to set up and make adjustments, and they don't have time to get players in and out. I mean, it's very Allen-esque 2012 through 2014.
Yeah.
If you have a offensive line that can get set and get ready to go, and they did it very well. And Allen gets the ball first, and it's crisp. They go 6 plays, 66 yards, less than a minute.
Right.
And the last 43 yards are a Jalen Jenkins touchdown.
Yeah.
His first of 4 for the night.
Touchdown, Jalen Jenkins, 43 yards.
And you're like, okay, that was great. And then you have to sit back and say, okay, defense has been playing better, especially against the run. Mm-hmm. How are they going to handle this passing attack? It comes out. And I want to stop right here and give a shout out to our wonderful kicker, Caden Williams.
He's going to make that field goal from a kickoff any day now.
He already has.
He already has.
He did it.
Okay. It was in Tyler, wasn't it?
Tyler, he made 2.
Oh,
yeah. But with the wind last night, obviously, when we were going south to north, he was kicking them out of the end zone continuously. I think when he got turned around, he had to kick, and that first kick he tried, and that wind caught it and knocked it down.
Took it up and knocked it down.
They went to the pooch kick after that. But, yeah, what a great weapon he is, just to know you're not going to have to worry about your kick coverage because he's going to kick it out of the end zone. And he did that all night long, so, kudos to him.
I think we're saying if he doesn't have D1 offers, he needs to have some D1 offers because
he needs about
strong.
100 of them.
And I'm looking forward to a game. I was hoping last night's game we'd see it where they let him kick a really, really long field goal. I want to see a long one.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a trivia question for all you 5 listeners out there. What's the longest Allen field goal?
That is a very good question.
I'm sure they've got it in the field house or somewhere on the record board, but if you know, let us know.
Little Elm gets the ball after Allen scores. They go 16 plays, which is a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are a lot of dink and dunk
Extended
passes.
Penalties,
a lot of runs for
backed
nothing.
them up.
And then, honestly, guys, my brain is lost here. They get down 2nd and 10 at the Eagles 21, And it says a John Mateer rush for negative 18 yards to the 39, and they
That one over his
That
head.
was
That was
the
a
snap over the
snap
head.
over his head.
snap
Yeah.
over his head that
So
somebody
that we
blew
recovered the
him
ball.
up
Yeah.
when he went to get the ball.
Well, landed on him and
Recovered
pushed
the
the ball
ball,
away.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the way it goes.
Yep.
Fumble on the play by John Mateer, picked up by number 22, Michael Munro.
And so Allen
And that play is in there too. So you look for that. Look for that highlight.
Allen recovers, goes 8 plays, 61 yards. The last 22, another Jalen Jenkins touchdown run.
Touchdown, Jalen Jenkins, 22 yards.
You know, the kid's he's a yardage-eating, touchdown-scoring machine, you know, and kudos to the O-line.
Oh, they were fantastic.
You know,
Blowing some big holes.
they were, and I don't even think, again, Allen didn't pass that much, but I don't think those quarterbacks were pressured at all. It was pretty easy last night. Allen kicks off. The Lobos go 5 plays, 3 yards. And they actually went for, was this where the fake punt was?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it
We
was
saw the
deep.
2 punts that they had.
Yeah.
Why they don't punt the
Fake
ball?
punt every.
Oh, my
Pulaski
God.
When
Academy
it was
101.
deep, it was deep in their territory, and they just barely got back to the
Yeah,
line
they
of
were on the
scrimmage.
28-yard line, and they tried a fake punt. It got blown up.
I don't was it? Didn't we get one? I think we got a defender back in there pretty dang quick, and that's what blew him up, and that's why he took off running.
I don't know. Again,
I
it's
think
hard
it
to
was a
say
fake-
sometimes.
Yeah,
But anyhow,
He had to,
Look
he
at
had
the
to jump a
video.
little bit for the ball, just a couple inches off the
But
ground.
I thought, if I remember right, I thought one of our guys got back there pretty quick and was probably in his lane that he needed, I guess, to kick, because the one he did get off we saw was.
yeah. Well, Allen, the offense just decided they wanted to sit on the sideline more, so they only ran 1 play on the next series, and Devin Turner goes 28 yards for a touchdown. And you look up, and actually on that series, for the extra point, Jacob Brazier threw a 2-point conversion pass to Devin Turner, and Allen's up 22-0.
That was wild to see.
Before you can blink.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got 3:51 left in the first quarter, and you're up 3 scores.
yeah.
You're like, great start, guys.
That was a nice little pitch out on that kind of funky 2-point.
Yep.
Have we scored on that before? Or we've
No,
tried.
that was
We've
the
run
first-
it before.
We've tried it before,
and
and it broke.
unsuccessful.
Yeah,
Okay.
blew up. But
Yeah.
it worked well last night.
And Jacob, if you're listening, buddy, I apologize for asking you who you were last night, because I know who you are, and I was like, that is so stupid of me, so just slap me next time you see me or whatever. But 22-0. The Lobos do come back, go 12 plays, 75 yards.
Yep. Minute
Again,
38 remaining.
A lot of dink and
Quarter,
dunk.
yeah.
And they had the 38-yard touchdown pass where the receiver just ran by everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I mean, literally ran by like we were standing still.
It was kind of, and I know our buddy Malachi Thornton. I know he got a little talking to when he came back to the sideline on that one. So
Yeah.
the safety didn't roll quick enough or something, and so 22-7. Allen gets the ball back, and Jenkins goes for a 50-yard touchdown. That's great. like, dude, can you not stop him? And the answer was no.
No.
7 plays, 73 yards. Took no time at all, basically. And Allen's up 29-7.
Yeah, because there's like a minute left, and then they scored before, it was less than a minute into the second quarter. And bam. Give the defense a break, will you?
Little Elm comes back to, gets down to the Eagle. What is it? What's the name of the company sponsoring?
Don't even bring that up. Don't even bring that up.
Is there anything more annoying than that?
The plaster caster, they paid their money. They get
did,
their money's
and
worth.
we know how much that cost because we asked the question.
I didn't see a dime, so don't do it anymore.
They paid their money. They get their name. But boy, well, what was really, at some point during the game, they announced they were in the red zone and they started playing their ad on the screen, and the game's going on, and I'm like, seriously?
Stop it.
Somebody messed up there.
Yeah, but minus 1 yard at the Eagle 12 fumble. Game on.
Mr. Williams picked it up.
Oh, yeah.
And tried to do the DJ Hicks imitation and run it back. He didn't quite make it all the way, but. Another turn, that's 2 turnovers, and it just goes to show how turnovers affect the game. I mean, you're in the red zone, you're trying to come back from a 22-point deficit, and you fumble the ball, and Allen doesn't waste any time. 7 plays, 88 yards. Hawkins actually ran one on a keeper.
That was nice to see.
Hey, since we're not walking, they didn't have a soul to give it.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Nice.
Mike Hawkins, 6 yards, touchdown, Eagles.
And to comment on that, there were a few more. It looked like planned quarterback runs, in the Fleener era and during Gamble's run as head coach. There were a fair number of planned quarterback runs, and more than I like for my taste.
Yep.
But it was good to see him running it. Good to see him get in the end zone.
It's nice when things go as planned.
And relatively untouched too.
Yes.
So thanks for the blocking. Thanks for the offensive line.
Exactly. So Allen's scores are up 36-7. Little Elm drives down the field. They get down to the 24-yard line. They try a field goal and they miss it.
Shank.
Bang. And it's just like, guys. It's just, here we go. Same old story. Allen gets the ball, drives the field. Devin Turner, another 14-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
Hot mic.
Lotto, your mic's on.
Yes, sir. Devin Turner, touchdown, Eagles.
It's 43-7 with 3 minutes left in the half. Little Elm gets the ball, and they do score on this one to make it a 43-13 game at halftime. So you can take a big breath and go, best half of football they played all year.
Yeah.
No turnovers.
Yep.
Very few penalties. They did not punt. In fact, they didn't punt all night.
Right.
So when you look at what were you looking for out of this team, they had 11 possessions. They scored on 10 of them.
Yeah.
the one right before the end of the
Halftime.
first half,
Yeah.
they didn't score on.
6 plays and ran the clock out.
Dadgum timeout management.
That is, a big thing. Time management. The Mike McCarthy School of
Yeah.
Management.
We couldn't see a clock.
Well, that's what they said. So, Little Elm comes out right after half, and you're thinking, okay, guys, don't let up. And it just seemed weird, that drive.
Weird?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, it just seemed like there was a kind of a lapse in intensity.
Yeah.
Because they went
coming
75
What
yards
happens when you're up that much?
in 4 plays, and actually it was 2 plays, and they
Yeah,
got a
76
76-yard touchdown pass.
Well, and I think that was the number 2, and he was streaking down the sideline in his perfect pass. And when you look at Mateer and saw how he threw that ball, there was not a whole lot of arm motion to it. It's a real quick release, and wow,
Gone.
yeah, right into his hands, and he's just gone.
So now it's 43-21, and you're like, okay, guys, we've still got a 22-point lead, but let's not get complacent here.
And let him catch up any more than that.
Yeah, where you get within 2 scores, and you're like, yeah, you've outplayed these guys so much, you don't want to have to deal with anything, from a competition standpoint.
Yeah.
So Allen gets the ball. Kavion Sibley, who I'm liking more and more every week, sophomore, number 7, is the kickoff returner on this one. Gets it out to the 20 or the 30. Allen drives down the field, and what I thought was the best pass and the best catch of the night. Allen had 3rd and 6 at the Little Elm 29. And our buddy who we met last night, I'm going to call him our buddy now. Cooper Cole.
Yep.
Great kid. We had fun talking to him and our...
That whole group is kind of a fun group.
Stephen Gorski, Cooper Cole, all those guys.
Y'all run together.
Yeah, it's a pack for sure.
Well, and so this is where we insert that play. We'll show you that play. It was a great catch.
Runs down the sideline, and the pass was perfect, and he made a diving catch. He told us last night, I thought I scored, but I don't know how close he was. But
Mike Hawkins pass, complete number 15, Cooper Cole. Gain of 28.
from our angle, it was one of those angles.
He's
that you
good
could
at
see.
least a yard away. So.
Yeah, it was, and he's somebody that we feel, he had a touchdown catch in Tyler that helped kind of break that game open a little bit. Throw him the ball.
Not a dissimilar play either.
No.
Over in the corner.
Yeah. So Cooper Cole gets it down to the 1, and Jalen Jenkins scores his 4th touchdown of the night, and that was pretty much his night.
For his, yeah.
Have you been noticing more of the changes you'd like to make around your home lately? Touchdown, Jalen Jenkins. Is there an area that catches your eye for the wrong reasons? Advanced plaster and tiles.
Allen goes up 50-21. Little Elm gets the ball back. It goes 6 plays, minus 8 yards. And then they punted, and it was a 27-yard punt. So,
Yeah, not a very good punt.
that's
DeSoto.
it is interesting because
Oh, yeah.
we
That's
went
what
to
their punter
the
looked
to
like.
the Forney Crandall game Thursday night, and
barn burner.
it's amazing the number of schools that don't develop kickers. Crandall had that issue, and you're like,
Brubaker.
Yeah.
it's like, what is going on here? And I know it's, if you don't have a kicker, you don't have a kicker, and even have somebody.
Well, surely they got a soccer team, and they can recruit from a soccer
You think
team.
so? I go back to the Tyler Legacy game. If you remember their kickoff guy, he kicked it like really hard and really low. It wasn't a pretty kick by any, and you're just like, yeah, if they could just get some development on these guys. But it seems to be it's DeSoto. You mentioned DeSoto. If you go back to the 12, 13, 14 days where the big Hispanic kid was their punter, and it was
Oh yeah, he was thick.
he was a lineman.
Yeah.
Punting.
You're Trinity too.
Yeah. But then, look, there you go. They punted 27 yards. Allen only takes 4 plays. At this point, Lathan Van Osdal's in at quarterback.
Yep.
His first play, he rushed for 23, and then he completed a pass to Jordan Tyson
Yep.
for 16 yards. Allen goes up 57-21.
Touchdown, Allen. 16-yard pass from Lathan Van Osdal to Jordan Tyson.
It's just like, okay, what are you gonna get to? How many points
Yeah,
are you going to
sky's the
score?
limit.
We did some research overnight and then this morning, and we think the most points an Allen team has ever scored is 77. If you go back to 20, it was either 13 against Plano West. So
That was an ugly game.
well,
What was so
that's your point of view.
unbelievable about that game
From the
though,
west side.
is we were actually up 77, like 14,
Yeah.
something like that, and then as usual, we put as many players in to get some time and whatever, and they thought they were winning the Super Bowl every time they scored.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, but they ended up with 77-41, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Allen's at 57. You're like, okay, how far can we go? A Little Elm scores on their next possession, 12 plays, 75 yards, 5-yard touchdown run by Mateer. Makes it
57-29 now.
29. Allen gets the ball back with 11 minutes remaining. Okay, so you're at 57 with 11 minutes remaining.
What are you going to do?
Corey Mosley turns the ball 16 yards. Give Corey a shout out. Lathan Van Osdale's running the offense, and Kavion Sibley is in at this point. The number I mentioned, the sophomore running back. Devin started the series. He finished it, and Kavion scores from 2 yards out after a 32-yard run. that he
Just
had.
a lot of running. Run, run, run.
That would be annoying too.
All right. Yeah.
Touchdown, Eagles. Number 7, Caden Williams.
And then now it's
They couldn't stop it.
You're trying to run the clock out because that's
Yeah.
typically what you do.
Yeah,
Get rid of
29.
time.
Little Elm gets the ball. They go 6 plays, minus 4 yards. Their next punt is 16 yards.
And
Off of
almost
Hit an Allen player.
hit an Allen play without him even knowing it because he was still trying to run back to block.
well, it was a lot. The ball didn't get off the ground more than higher
Dude,
than
I
the
think
head.
it skimmed a helmet when it was.
Well, and they weren't expecting you wouldn't be expecting the ball to land 16
Right, but
yards.
it hit off a Little Elm player, and
Yeah.
Allen recovered it. And
Yep.
all right.
So Allen goes 5 plays, 37 yards.
Or
Evan
actually,
Bullock.
it's down. It's down where it hit the guy.
Yeah,
So
hit the guy.
it's-
Evan Bullock comes in at quarterback at that time, and Evan
All right.
runs 6 yards for a touchdown.
Well,
Number 9, Evan Bullock. Touchdown, Eagles.
Mom was right there filming it.
Mom was very
saw
happy.
it.
Mom actually got onto the goal line
Yep.
and had that camera and filming it.
right
That-
there.
Good
That
for
was
Evan.
fun. Good
Kim
for
gave
them.
her a high five.
Yeah.
And insert that video there if you want.
So good for Evan.
Proud
for getting,
mom.
we were amazed, and we didn't know how tall Evan is. Evan's a big, tall kid.
He's a
Tell
tall
him
kid.
What's 6'5"?
Well,
think he's that
from where
tall,
we're
but-
sitting up there, everyone looks like.
Well, you can tell, but when you get down on the field, you're like, oh, he's taller
Thanks to
than I thought.
Randy for making us look like Monty Python. And
Hold that thought, because I want to get back to that. So Allen goes up 71-29.
it's just a flesh wound.
And Little Elm holds on to the ball. The rest of the time does not score. Final 71-29. You clap your hands and say, best game of the year. Perfect time to have it.
Yep.
Now have a better game next week.
Yeah,
And the Denton Geyer coaches that were sitting there scouting the game are probably going, crap, they figured it out.
Yeah, well, let's hope.
There's no doubt those guys needed that game. They enjoyed it.
Well, and I guess the point now is it sets a standard. It sets an expectation. They know they're capable of it.
Yeah.
They felt what it feels like to do it. So do it again.
Yeah. Lather, rinse, repeat.
Exactly.
There you go. I do want to give a shout out to the defense because this is a couple weeks in a row. And yeah, they gave up a lot of passing yards, but when you fall behind that's to be expected. Little Elm was
That's all
passing
they're
well.
going to do is throw.
Little Elm did have 51 rushing attempts last night.
That's a lot of rushes.
And you're like, okay, 51. They
21
probably got
yards.
300 yards.
Yeah, 300 yards.
107 yards.
That's fantastic for 51 attempts.
So just a little over 2 yards a carry. Last week it was under 2 yards a carry.
How many yards did the quarterback have?
Well, you got to remember all the sack yardage goes against him, and he was their leading rusher
54.
coming into the game.
Yeah.
54.
No, he had less. He had 17 carries for 22 yards.
Yeah.
Their lead again. He was their leading rusher. Jalen Sessions only had 54. Their running back, and he was their second. So they had a tough night on the ground, which I think affected their offense because I think as much as they may look like just a throw, I think their running game is a big part of what they do. And when you can't run, again, you make somebody one-dimensional, it becomes very difficult. The defense, Zena had a big night. Zena. All right, we have a contest for people out there.
Yeah. We have it's a naming contest.
A naming contest. Because
Zena's got the move. When he does a sack, whatever, he'll come away from the ball.
Yep.
Not taunting the player.
Nope. And he'll do that. It's like a yoga move or something.
And he has no idea why he does it.
He came out after the game and I was
feels
like,
good.
dude, what do you call that? He goes, oh no.
Oh, no.
You don't even have a name for what you do. So if someone wants to come up with a good name for Zena's sack dance is what his brother called it. His brother was laughing at him. So he needs a name for it. So that was good. So he had a 2-sack night. And the front four, wow. Blake Vaughn in the first 3 minutes of the game was possessed.
He was.
I mean,
He was going off.
I was like, dude, tackle in the backfield, tackle. I'm like, what? Just out of control, which is great. Because, and again, I'm not saying this is all because of him, but having DJ in the middle frees up those other people to beat their
Taking
guys
up
and go
2
do
or
it.
3 offensive linemen.
And they're all working together now.
Yep.
And I love seeing that. Caleb Nettles, Jason Williams.
And I'm seeing good play out of the linebackers, the edge, the outside linebackers, when the play breaks out, because they did that a fair number of times where they'd have the quarterback in the middle. All of a sudden, they'd spread out some of the linebackers in the corner, and the quarterback would come around the edge, and he would have some room.
Yep.
And most often, there was somebody that would come over and shoot and hit him at least within 5 yards of scrimmage.
Sure.
And you want at least to shut him down by that. If you let him get more, then that's a problem.
I was going to look, they don't have it in here. I was going to see what their long run of the night was, but it wasn't very far.
No.
So, sorry, guys. So, defense played well. You look at the rest of the district last night. McKinney and Prosper played. Prosper finally gets off the schneid. Beats McKinney 31-14. Prosper and Braswell are probably going to be fighting for that last playoff spot. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna give the other one to Boyd and see what happens there. But that's Prosper finally wins, and then Geyer played Braswell last night. Geyer beats Braswell 35-14.
Which
workmanlike.
It's a win.
Yeah.
Not terribly convincing, but
a
that's
win.
all you got to do.
Again, it's workmanlike, and you need to do that to win. So that takes care of the district. So you go into next week's Geyer-Allen game. A lot of hype going to be around it.
Yep. Up at C.H. Collins Complex up in Denton.
It's an away game. You need to travel well.
Yeah, please show up to the game.
It's 7 o'clock Friday night, and we'll see what happens when we get there. It'll certainly be entertaining. You know, Geyer has been hyped by a lot of people as being, you know, the team to beat in D2 now. You know, and we'll see what happens. But I read last night, and this could be pretty salty. It looks like Katie's going to go D2 this year, and so Katie and Geyer could be something down the road to look forward to.
Featured.
But if you look at Allen's remaining schedule, you have Geyer next week, the week after that, which is homecoming, McKinney. And boy, we can't wait for that one.
Yep,
We're jazzed for that game. The following week, they go on the road again to Prosper. I go back 3 weeks ago when you looked at the schedule when, like I said, the district was 24-4 coming out of non-district play, and you're like, okay, now you're going to start beating up on each other.
Yeah.
It's starting to take some shape. I don't think Prosper's near as good as everybody hyped them to be.
No, and
they had a long run last
year. I expected McKinney to do
They
better.
played schools too.
Yeah, but that was 2 years ago. But
Yeah.
they went to the state semifinals last year.
It was 2 years ago, but they were allowed to keep the team together for that 1 year.
Right.
Yeah, and so Prosper doesn't make me think like I was thinking about them to begin the year. Not that they're not dangerous. You got to play every week, and then you come home for the last game of the year on a Thursday night. Oh man, we got another Friday night. We can go somewhere. Cool.
Well, the 2 games in a row are
it's awesome.
it is awesome, but it's also
It cuts into my me time.
no, it's cuts into my supply of ibuprofen.
That might be a game. That might be a week that we need to go watch somebody in our district play.
Or somebody who we're going to play the following week.
Yeah.
Why would we go watch someone in our district?
But they get Braswell last game of the year, and hopefully, you know, depending on what comes out of this Geyer game, you know, it's a little bit easier. You're following 3 games. You know. This could be the district championship game.
Yep,
but
could be.
Anything can happen, as you know. So need a big crowd out there. It'll be a good game. I mean, Geyer's good. There's no doubt. And
Don't leave at halftime.
Allen's playing better. It's not a Thursday night game, so that'll be good. We need to speak for a second. We got a chance, the 3 of us, went back out to Forney Thursday night because Forney and Crandall were playing, and
a couple of our favorite people.
Do you know Forney and Decatur are annexing?
Decatur?
Yeah.
They don't
They're
care.
going to be the fornicators.
Oh my God.
He did not. He did that all on his own, people. All on his own. And he's been sitting on that for I don't know how long.
He's pretty happy with himself. Arkansas fans, man.
We got to go out to Forney because obviously, you know, Jeff and Katie Fleener were going to be there. But then the Millers, Jared and Mary Lynn, who were at former Allen.
Right.
Jared's the principal in Crandall now. Mary Lynn's the head trainer. And we said, hey, that'll be fun. We get an opportunity to see them. We got one of the most entertaining games.
Oh, that was so much fun.
Crandall comes in averaging about 60 points a game. The week before, they scored 71, caused 12 fumbles, recovered 9 against North Forney.
Yeah.
And it
looks like a powerhouse coming in.
Yeah.
Neither of these teams are terribly deep in terms of the number of players.
No.
But they've got some talent out there.
But we were there. Matt Stepp was there. Professor Diggs was there. It was just a big party. And what an entertaining game. You know, Forney gets up. Crandall comes back and ties it just before the end of the
regulation.
Yeah. And you go to overtime. And the overtime rules, for those that don't know,
they've changed.
They've changed.
First overtime, everything's normal, right?
Yep.
Start at the 25-yard line.
Exactly.
Yes, Nolan.
Or you were just waiting to exhale. Second overtime, you have to go for 2.
Have to go for 2. Which it used to be third overtime.
Yes. And now the third overtime turns
That's where it gets fun.
Oh yeah. I like this change. UIL, you done good.
You go to
that.
an alternating 2-point conversion try.
Yep.
From the 3-yard line. It's just
one
you
and
get
done.
One play, you make it or you don't. So we get to the third overtime. Well, you get to the third overtime and you're like, and bless Katie Fleener's heart, I could have swore we were going to have
the indigestion that
I was
she
looking
suffers.
I was looking for the paramedics.
Yeah,
Well,
we're the paramedics.
she disappeared for a little while. It's like, where did she go?
Couldn't stand to watch it. It was just so intense. And y'all got to remember, for Forney, they did not win a game last year.
They had been the whipping, the dog of the district,
and Crandall beat them in 4 overtimes the year before. And so you get to the third overtime, Forney gets the ball first, and they score.
They score.
And you're like,
Yay.
okay, cool. Well, Crandall gets their one attempt. Quarterback rolls left, kind of throws a little back across
jump
to the middle of the
a jump
field.
pass, yeah.
And Forney intercepts.
Number 16, yeah, for Forney.
James posted that on Twitter if you want to see it. And the place erupts.
Oh, that was so freaking cool.
And we were down on the field when all that was going on, and just the band, they moved the band down in front of the student section, which was right across where all this was going on.
The Jack Pack.
The Jack.
Awesome
It was
name.
fun.
Jack
The
Rabbits.
place just went nuts, and it was so cool to see all that. And it was again, not having any skin in the game was made
It's
it even
very
better.
exciting.
Yeah, so it was
Thrilling.
fun to watch
And
them.
Fleener is a rock star
Good
there.
Lord,
Hey, he loves them. They love him.
it's incredible.
Good things are happening down there. So if you're looking for a place to move in and you're not D1 talent, move to Allen.
Oh,
if you're
my
D1.
God.
If you're not D1, move to Forney. It's fun.
Wow.
He's gonna get you for that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jeez.
So anyhow, that was fun. We had
There's the
fun.
Nolan races.
And so, what else, fellas? Anything else we need to talk about? Our buddy Alan. Thank you for everybody who keeps asking about
Yeah.
Alan. He
Getting better.
It's a slow process. He is getting a little better. We actually got to FaceTime him yesterday. His wife came up to the tailgate for a while, and
Yeah.
we got
All
to talk
his
to her.
glory.
We FaceTimed him, and he's doing better. He started physical therapy
yep,
yesterday
I went to physical therapy.
for a short period of time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long road. When your lungs aren't working, everything's hard because you can't breathe. And you
The
can't get
muscles
oxygen.
atrophy, and
Yeah.
it's tough.
But the doctor says at some point his lungs are just going to kick back in and he'll be fine. We keep praying. But he's doing better, and we're thankful for that. And so thank you for everybody who keeps asking. We miss him and want him back. And things aren't, he's our entertainment values for a lot of stuff. So don't even, we have a different word for you. So continue prayers for Alan and Jan and their family as he continues to.
Nolan's going to teach him a little strut when he gets healthy
right.
enough.
Got to teach him the monkey walk and what was the other one? The chicken.
I remember.
Chicken dance. So
Nolan's so humble.
Saturday, here it is, Texas OU.
11 o'clock.
Sark is wearing the ugliest freaking pants I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, is he? Well, he's just dressed right now.
He's
getting there.
wearing the ugliest pants I've ever seen in my life. Look at the stripes down the side of those things.
Oh, my word. That is pretty crazy. His
She's
wife
got
him
matching
on, too.
pants.
Yeah, that's his wife.
All right, focus.
Sorry, got distracted.
Really? That just come out of his mouth?
Yeah, that's pretty ironic, isn't it? So anyway, folks, next Friday night, Denton-Guyer, big district matchup. Be there. And until then, it's over, and we're out. Hook 'em.